Store. My story is basically cancer is my big obstacle. I've overcome it 2.5 times. So once wasn't good enough, twice wasn't good enough, and I caught it the third time, thank God. So with that journey, I actually realized how important my animals were to me. They were my sobriety. They were my confidant. They were my cheerleaders. They were my comic relief. They were my support when I went to cancer. I had lost all my hair the first time. So that was devastating. I was out working in Hollywood at a very popular celebrity place. I had been working there. And I remember it was summer and it was really hot one day and I was wearing a wig and I was like, you know what? It's too hot. I really don't want to wear this wig. I'm just going to go in there. They're either going to send me home or whatever. So I just decided I was going to do it. I walked in there and I went in with my bald head, and it was so interesting because a couple of days later, a gentleman had come in and said, "Oh my God, you were so attractive. Are you a model?" He goes, "I just think you're so stunning with your bald head and stuff." He goes, "Oh my God." And I was like, "Well, no, but you know." So I just kind of was like so surprised at the reaction that people actually embraced it as opposed to making it a negative thing. So it's interesting when you tell people you have cancer, they go like, "Oh, woo, woo, woo." No, woo, woo, woo. It made me stronger. It defined who I was. It made my husband and my relationship stronger. I mean, he was like a ride or die. He shaved his head. He went to every treatment with me and everything. So he was like my road dog. And then we had people leave our lives because cancer is serious and they don't want to deal with it. And it's easier just to eliminate themselves from the situation than to deal with it. So we got a lot of pushback. And then I think that too was also the time that we solidified our relationship. People thought, oh, they're just having fun. You know, they met at Venice Beach, woo, 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 you know. So they didn't realize how serious we really were. So I think that was the first obstacle. And then the second time I had cancer, I was having trouble in our marriage. So this kind of gave us a reality check again, like what is important to you? So you have to reevaluate your life and kind of take inventory on what was important. Are we strong enough to get through this? Or is this going to be the bridge that breaks us? So all that was also facilitated through my animals, which were just so important to me. So I was watching The View one morning, and Sunny Hostin was talking about a sanctuary that she had gone to called Best Friend Sanctuary. So I was at a low point in my life. I said, I'm just going to take up, I'm going, I'm just leaving. I'll be back in a week. Just left, didn't tell my husband kind of where I was going, just dropped off the earth. Took one of my dogs, went up there, spent 4 days there, and it literally changed my life. I came back from there 4 days later. It's in a beautiful place in Utah, Kanab, Utah. It's just this beautiful, they call it Angel Canyon. And that's exactly what it was. You could feel the history, you can feel the Native American spirit there. And just, I mean, the colors and just nature. You were overrun with nature. It was like nature gave me a hug. They had animals there. They had horses. I had a beautiful cottage where I can see the horses just be free. They had pigs, goats, dogs, and cats. And it just was such an inspiration. And their whole philosophy is no kill. That hundreds of thousands of animals are being killed every year because there's no space in the shelters. So if people bring in newborn kittens or newborn animals and they don't have space for them, they're going to euthanize those animals. And I say euthanize as a nice word, but they're actually killing them. So that just touched my heart. And I knew how special my animals were. And I know that the human animal bond is so strong that actually they use it. Now they're saying scientists are finally getting the pet effect. They actually have a name for it now, that it's the pet effect, where animals and humans are being used together for PTSD, autism, literacy, just different things. So I'm opening a sanctuary now called Healing Heart Sanctuary SoCal that is incorporating that. It's a place where we take innocent animals and give them an environment to thrive, and that we nurture their healing powers and incorporate the animal human bond, which benefits both the humans and the animals. So that's my goal for this year. And I've started my 501c3. I'm at the beginning. It's going to be a long road, but I know we're going to get there. And I've been very supported by people, and the community has been very loving to me and stuff. So I think that's what I'm here for. Because if I survived cancer twice, there was a reason I was here. So that's kind of my story. And it's at Healing Heart Sanctuary /SoCal.org. And then I have Instagram as well, where I post every day what I go through. Today I did this. I'm going to talk about this today on my video today. So yeah, so it's a slow process, but I'm feeling positive, and they just so great animals. And I want people to understand that they're just not animals. You just don't put them out in the yard and forget about them. They have so much to get. They're so intuitive. They tell you like they have cancer dogs. How do you teach a dog that? You can't. DOG, is it a coincidence? I don't think so. So that's kind of where I'm coming from. So yeah, that's what I'm about.
That's incredible. And is your Instagram Healing Heart Sanctuary SoCal as well?
Correct.
Wow, Healing Heart Sanctuary SoCal. Wow. That is incredible. And what kind of animals do you have? I'm just curious. What kind of pets do you have in your life?
At my personal, I have two German shepherds, and then I have a cat, and she runs the house, and she's the diva, and she lets everybody know it. So yeah, but they're very very intuitive, and I'm just amazed at how smart they are and how they just really are there to regulate my nervous system and release my stress. So I can always tell. It's so funny because I'm surprised my dog hasn't jumped up yet because she can tell when I'm getting emotional and she'll come over and kind of like soothe me and like, okay, mama, it's okay, you know. So they do have that ability. And I really hope people get the animal human bond and know that the pet effect is real and it's been documented by scientists and different things. And just the work that they do with the vets with PTSD, you know, regulating their nervous system and just his horses are fight or flight. So if you don't have a good energy, they're going to stay away from you. So basically, they take a vet and put him in the arena with the horse, and the horse will be at one side of the arena and he will be at the other side. And depending on how his energy is, the horse is going to stay there until they calm down and center themselves, and then the animal will come over to them. So that's just amazing that they're able to do that. And that's all intuitive, you know? So it's just great that people are finally getting on board with that. So I'm excited to be part of that and part of the no kill program.
Oh, thank you so much for the work that you do and for sharing with us about your story. And I'm just so happy you were able to beat cancer twice. Wow. Thank you again for joining us, Anita St. Louis. And I can't wait to check out Healing Heart Sanctuary SoCal on Instagram. So thank you again for joining us. And you said, okay, in the nonprofit, it's already, you just, is it in the, it's still the paperwork's uh,
And filed
processing?
officially, but I can still take donations and they're still tax deductible because they're retroactive. So any help that I need, I'm reaching out to people. If you can do anything to help me, that would be lovely. So Healing Heart Sanctuary SoCal, yes.
Healing Heart Sanctuary SoCal. Okay, perfect. Thank you again for joining us and thank you for your patience. I really appreciate it. And thank you for the work that you do. And I wish you much success. Thank you very much.
I appreciate it.
Take care. Awesome. Very nice. Awesome. Awesome. Alrighty. So that was it for overcoming obstacles.